Welcome to Saturday Night Lights Hockey Podcast, the best hockey show around. Let's dive in tonight on the show. We have a loaded show. We're going over our best rookies, best and worst teams, guys that we think are going to get traded. Can the Buffalo Sabres continue this surprising stretch they've been on, and much more? We are going to start with our three awards to start the show. And the first one is the best rookie. Who did you pick for the best rookie?
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Matthew Schaefer of the New York Islanders. He's like third on my list, so I'm gonna duck down and take a defenseman, not a forward. I'm gonna take a defenseman. So
Yeah, it's funny you take Matthew Schaefer. That's who I picked.
oh, cool. All right, awesome
He's
stuff.
the reason, and I think we'll both agree on this. He's the reason the Islanders are where they are in standings.
And the Islanders weren't supposed to be where they are either.
No.
No, yeah.
And they made a trade for Andre Palat, and they're taking
I
on a
didn't know
lot of
that.
his money
Wow. Okay, I did not know that he was
from
now
New Jersey. Yeah.
the Devils. Okay.
Yep, they got Palat, 2 draft picks for Maxim Siplikov.
Okay.
Because New Jersey, if we see if I can get to ESPN, NHL. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. This is part of the show. No, we want NHL standings, NHL.com. Share screen. Dun-dun. Yeah, dun-dun. If we look at the standings, yes, I understand. If we look at the standings right now, the Atlantic is a mess. You got Tampa Bay in first place with 74 points. You got Detroit in second with 72. And can we say that Detroit has kind of the Iser plan starting to go into effect?
Finally, I think it took a long time for it to finally start to evolve. I think he was kind of hoping he was going to have the same success as he did when he was, in Tampa Bay. It didn't come as quickly in Detroit. And you can look at the, games played. The cool thing about the Lightning is, look, we have 4 games in hand for the Red Wings and 3 for Montreal. I'm sitting pretty good. Sitting pretty good as a Lightning fan.
And
games in hand.
The aforementioned Montreal Canadiens are in third place, 4 points behind the Lightning. But as Brad just alluded to, the Lightning have 3 games in hand on Montreal. Now we go down to the Metro. And the Metro's kind of a mess too, other than Carolina. You got a team that both of us said wasn't going to be in the playoffs this year, and Pittsburgh in second place.
I was just going to ask you that question, but do you see surprised of how Pittsburgh is up in second place, and they're an older team. They're not a young team. They're an older team.
I am shockingly surprised.
Yep.
And now they're kind of in that spot where, are we going to be buyers at the deadline? Are we going to be sellers? Are we going to be a little bit of both? As we can see, third place team is the Islanders, and we just talked about Matthew Schaefer.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like the Islanders have made it known that they're going to be buyers. Going out and trading for Andre Palat and not having to give up a lot to get him. I mean, Maxim Siplikov was playing third, fourth line for the Islanders. Now he's probably in the AHL for New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Then you look at the wild card. Buffalo and Boston. And skipping over Buffalo for right now because we're going to talk about them in a little while. Boston. Can they stay in that last wild card? Or is somebody like Washington all of a sudden a red-hot Columbus team that's won 5 games in a row? Ottawa, Toronto, Florida, Philly, New Jersey.
I think that final playoff spot, but I think the final 2 wild card spots are basically a 5-team race. I think if you look at the standings, Boston needs to stay out of the penalty box. Obviously, that's what killed them in the outdoor game. The
Yep, it
aforementioned
did.
Pasternak winning goal that they thought they had a winning goal, and it was a penalty on him. The guy that committed the penalty is the guy who scored the goal. So, yeah, I don't like the way that the referees waited until the last minute to blow the whistle, but it is what it is. But I think the 5 teams are going to be Buffalo, Boston, Washington, Columbus, and Ottawa. I don't count the Senators out. When it gets below, I mean, I know Toronto has the same amount of points as Ottawa and Columbus. We're going to talk about that too later on in the show too, about the trade deadline. I think once you get Toronto, Florida on down, I think those teams are. It's going to take a lot for them to get back into the thing of things. And if you go all the way down, you got the New York Rangers sitting
And
in
dead
last
last.
place in the Eastern
Who
Conference.
have, and we're
That's
going to talk
shocking.
about it later, but they have scratched a certain player and said it's because they want him to sit out until the Olympic break.
That's shocking. They're in a 3-game losing streak, and their
Does,
goal differential is a negative 27. That's why you're losing.
doesn't that sound fishy, though? Scratching a guy because you want him to sit out until the Olympic break.
Meaning probably they're going to trade him, most likely. That would be my guess.
So my question to you is Columbus. At the beginning of the season, Columbus, I think both of us thought Columbus, they weren't going to be anywhere near the playoffs.
No, and then again, sometimes it just takes.
They fired their coach.
That's what it is. Sometimes a new voice in the locker room can, make things different for players.
And they've got one of the best guys in the NHL that's really good at fighting, and Matthew Olivier.
Well, and still that the organization itself probably is still healing from the Johnny Gaudreau accident a couple of years ago when they lost him.
Yeah.
But they've been pretty solid. I mean, if you think back, Lightning fans, including myself, we don't even want to think back a couple of years ago when we got swept in the opening round of the playoffs after winning the President's Trophy. We got swept in the first. And who was that team that swept us? Oh, that's right. It was the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yeah, the Blue Jackets.
So, yeah. Then the year after that, we beat them in the playoffs in a 5 overtime game in game 1. During the COVID Cup. The COVID Cup in 2020.
Yeah, which people want to say, oh, that's a Mickey Mouse Cup.
So I don't know if the people that say the Mickey Mouse or that it wasn't hard. Barca Gaudreau made a good point at a media session. He said, I don't know why people think that this was so easy. He goes, guys, we had to go to the hotel to practice back to the hotel. We could not talk to each other. We couldn't be around each other. We couldn't see our kids. He goes, so if you think it was so easy, why don't we stick you in a hotel room for 30 days and you can't leave the hotel room? Can't leave the hotel.
Exactly.
See how you like it. Yeah. We won the hardest cup of all of them. I don't want to, people just want to be pessimists because.
Well, it's the same way with and I know neither of us really watch the NBA, but to use the same thing that people say about the Lightning. The people say that there's people out there that say the same thing about the Los Angeles Lakers. When they won their NBA championship, they're like, oh, that was the Mickey Mouse ring because it was in a bubble.
Well, they could say Mickey Mouse because it was played in Orlando at the Florida Sports Complex at Disney.
Yeah, it was.
You could say it was the Mickey Mouse name, but no. Again, same situation. You are in a bubble. You can't go to practice. You can only go to practice. You can only be with your teammates. Game time, and that's it. And you got to go back to the hotel. You're in a mask all the time. Nah, man. I don't care what people say.
And I know we're going to talk about Panarin later, but could you see him being traded back to Columbus?
It's a possibility. It depends on what the Blue Jackets have to offer back to the Rangers. We'll have to wait and see.
But
that could be a
like
move.
we just said, we are going to talk about that later. And in
Yeah.
the names, another team I want to speak about is the Flyers. They started off the season really hot, and all of a sudden they just do you want to say fizzled out or tapered?
Yeah, well, you can look too. I mean, any if you see most of the teams, other than obviously the Columbus Blue Jackets, most of the teams that are in the bottom are negative in the goal differential. And when you're giving up more goals than you're scoring, it's hard to win hockey games. You know, when you're
It
giving up
is.
more goals, and the Flyers have a negative 14, which means they're giving up 14 more goals than they're scoring. And you know, again, if you look, I mean, so can they bounce back? They can make a trade. Maybe they bring in a rookie or call somebody up after the trade deadline if they move a guy. Again, the Flyers have kind of been, in the middle of the pack for the last few
Yeah.
years. It's been a while since they've been near the top of the Eastern
I'll
Conference.
say
So,
this. I think the one team that's down here that's not going to sell is the Panthers.
no, yeah, I don't. No, they won't because, again, they're
I
the
think they'll
two-time champions.
stand pat at the deadline. Toronto, they might sell off some lesser pieces,
Yeah.
but and we can mention his name, these two guys' names in the trade part of the video episode. But we're not going to spoil it right now. Now we're going to go down to the Western Conference, which I want to start with the Central Division, and I want to start with Colorado. What has gone wrong with Colorado?
What has gone wrong?
I know they've look at their
They're the top
they're
team
getting
in
those
the league.
garbage points though.
Yeah,
Overtime.
they have a lot of overtime points. They're a plus 72.
The Bettman point.
Yeah, they've struggled here recently.
Because the Landeskog's hurt, and I think
Well,
Devon.
you can look in their last 10. They're 3-5-2, so they've picked up 5 points in their last 10 games. And they're on a 1-game losing streak, but they've been plagued with injuries the last few seasons that have hurt them enough. But obviously, they're right there.
Perfect example: Gabriel Landeskog.
Yeah,
Took him 3 years to come back, and he plays I think 15 or 16 games this year, and then he's hurt again.
Yeah.
And then it's I think it's Devon Taves that's hurt right now on defense for Colorado. And in their goaltending, I mean, Scott Wedgwood's been a godsend for them.
Mm-hmm.
He's, would you say, revived his career?
Former Lightning player. Yeah. He's a former Bolt.
I forgot about that.
But yeah, I mean, I think too, but like I think it is with any sport. I think sometimes when you change addresses, putting on a new uniform, sometimes being in a new city or a new state, sometimes is the way that it goes for some people.
And then look who's in second place.
They have to be one of the surprise teams in the first half. Is the Wild? They have to be.
I mean, I think we both knew they were going to be good, but not second place good.
They're a plus 26 and they've won their last 4.
Well, most of that is you can credit that to Bill Guerin going out and trading for a top 5 defenseman in the NHL and Quinn Hughes.
Yeah, well, that was the big.
They fleeced Vancouver horribly bad.
Well, and then also too, they've gotten rid of those 2 big long contracts with the
Parise and Suter.
Yeah, Parise and Suter. They've got both of those are now off the books, so now they can move money around.
They just paid Caprice off a boatload of money.
It was a good idea to keep him. He's a franchise guy, and if you want to keep the people in Minnesota coming back to hockey games, you want to re-sign him and get him signed.
Yeah.
Smart.
And then in third place is the Dallas Stars.
Yeah, they don't ever go away. It's just every season they're right there in the thick of it. So
And they have some, just like Minnesota. Dallas has some really good young players. Wyatt Johnston, um, Justin Richkovia,
Mm-hmm.
Jake Ottinger, who's going to be playing in the Olympics. But you're right, Dallas. They're the Iowa, no pun intended, of the NHL.
Yep. Bat them away and they come right back.
Yep. Now we get to the Pacific Division. And of course, who else would be in first place? Well, technically, technically it's a tie, but actually, no. Edmonton would probably be in first because they have more wins.
Yeah,
more regulation overtime wins.
Yeah, they have, and they have one game in hand. The Knights have one game in hand.
Anyway, Vegas. I would say that Mitch Marner signing has worked out.
Yep.
Beautiful for Vegas.
Yep.
And I love this. Even though he's not in Toronto anymore, when they played in Toronto, every time he touched the puck, he got booed.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing in Montreal.
Yep.
What did Toronto? What did Mitch Marner do to you to get booed? He helped you make the playoffs. It's not his fault that they choked in the first round every time. That's ownership and management. That's Brad Treliving.
Mm-hmm.
But Vegas is another team. Look at 14 overtime.
Yeah,
they're another team like we just talked about with
the Avalanche.
With Colorado. They get those Bettman points.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Edmonton. What is there not to say about the Oilers? They have the best player in the NHL.
I would agree. And
it's ridiculous the amount of highlight reel plays he makes every night.
And correct me if I'm wrong, isn't he on the last year of his current contract?
No, I think he signed a 3-year extension.
Okay.
And I think it's up at either 2028 or 2029. And then people are like, oh, he's going to go to Toronto. He's going to go to Calgary. No, he's going to be an Oiler for life.
I was going to say, I don't see him changing.
I don't see him going to Calgary. I don't see him going to Vancouver. I as sure as heck don't see him going to Toronto.
Well, Toronto will make a huge splash if they can get Connor McDavid, but
that's not going to happen. But yeah, and then the Oilers. I mean, that trade they made for Tristan Jarry. Looking back on it, and you would probably agree with me, they shouldn't have traded Stuart Skinner. Look what Stuart Skinner's done in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
And look what Tristan Jarry's done since getting to Edmonton. And it's like people are trying to predict, oh, the Oilers are going to trade for a goalie again. But anyway, third place, the Seattle Kraken.
Yeah, that's they've won 4 games in a row. They're a negative goal differential too, but
-3.
They're only 3. I mean, they're only 3 points out of first place, so that's not bad.
Did we see this coming at the beginning of the season?
I could say no. I don't think I saw it coming. I think they were going to be a middle of the pack team. I don't think could be a buyer, could be a seller at the deadline. So
tweener, could be both. I agree. I didn't see this coming either. The Kraken have surprised. Now let's see what the wild card looks like. The Mammoth and the Ducks.
I just saw Utah last week. And again, look, they're a plus 23 in the goal differential. Yeah, I'm not surprised that they're up here. And Anaheim, same way, not surprised. But you look at the team that's underneath them, don't count the Kings out.
No.
Don't count the Kings
out. You know what? I'm going to say this about Anaheim. They've got one of the best young cores in the NHL.
Finally.
And we've talked about one of their guys on the show before, Beckett Seneca. And they've got Joe Quenneville as their head coach. Believe me, Lightning fans know what Joe Quenneville is capable of. We saw him when he was in Chicago.
Yep, true.
And I would say don't count out LA. Don't count out San Jose. And can I say this with full confidence now? Don't count out Nashville.
No, they've been playing good as of late. I wouldn't count again. Same thing with the Western Conference. Don't count out the top 5 for battling for those last 2 spots.
Could you throw Chicago in there or too far?
I think once it gets below Nashville, it's a crapshoot. I don't think I could see any of those teams get.
Well, obviously, we know Vancouver's bye-bye.
Toast. Yeah, they're toast.
St. Louis.
Yeah, no.
They're probably going to be sellers. Calgary's probably going to be a seller.
Vancouver,
with whatever they have left, because they
Right.
traded Rasmus Anderson to Vegas, of course. Seems like the Vegas Golden Knights always get the big fish.
They seem to get everybody since they came into the league.
Yep. And then Winnipeg. And it's puzzling. Last year, they won the President's Trophy and had a franchise record 54 wins. And this year, they're probably going to miss the playoffs.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's very interesting.
Could you see them being sellers at the deadline?
I think, but when it comes down to them being sellers, I think it's a possibility that happens. They may say, okay, we're done, whatever. We're going to blow it up. Or they say, you know what? We're going to stay pat. We'll make a few moves here or there to kind of keep the team in contention. If management still believes that they're in contention, I don't know.
I would say if they're going to be sellers, there's 3 guys that are not probably getting moved: Hellebuck, Kyle Connor, and Mark Scheifele.
I would agree with you on
Unless you just get an offer like Vancouver got for Quinn Hughes.
Hughes, yeah.
No,
I agree with that.
And like I just said a minute ago, Vancouver got kind of flipped.
taken to the whooping shed.
Yeah, they got taken out to the backyard, and they got a belt. No, not a belt. They got a dodgeball to the knee and the head. But yeah, and in Chicago, Chicago's got a good young team.
With them, but I don't see them making a move either because of how young they are. I'm sure they'll listen to offers, but I don't think they make any severely.
Well, when I say they've got a few veterans that they could move off of, Connor Murphy, Teuvo Teravainen. But other than that, no. And Nashville, if we would have done this 2 months ago, I would have said that was going to be a seller.
Yep. I would agree with that.
No, Nashville's probably a buyer, even though they want to probably. Yeah, I was going to say, do you think Stammer still wants out of Nashville?
It's a possibility. He still is, we talked about this. I talked about this with my buds at the hockey game. If you look at him, he's been a minus since he's been in Nashville, and we got Jay Gensel, and he's been a plus. So I think the Lightning won that deal.
It wasn't a trade. It was a
free agent
swap. Well, no, Gensel was a trade with Carolina.
Yeah, that's what I think we made a trade with Carolina to get.
It was like a 3rd or 4th round pick that we gave to Carolina.
Yeah.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to stay on the standings page and we're going to go through the Eastern Conference first and tell you that the teams you should be scared of going on through the rest of the season. We start with the Atlantic. Are you scared of Detroit?
I would be because they're young, and Eiserman's plan is starting to come into fruition, and I think they'll make some moves at the deadline that can make them better. So I would be.
What about Montreal?
Yes, Montreal seems to be. I think most people would agree that they're the top team in Canada. So I wouldn't. Yeah, I would be. I would be afraid.
I would agree with you on both of those. Carolina. Are you scared of Carolina?
Carolina, yes, because for some off the wall reason, just like with what we were talking earlier about Iowa, Carolina doesn't seem to go away. And again, I'm sure they'll be making a move at the deadline too.
Like they did last year for Mikko Rantanen, and then they flipped Mikko Rantanen right before the deadline to Dallas. Now, are you scared of Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh, I would say no, because I think Father Time will catch up to them. I'm not going to say they're going to miss the playoffs, but I think
Father Time. When you say Father Time, are you talking about Crosby, Malkin, Letang?
Correct. Correct.
The guys that have been, and obviously we know Crosby's not going to get traded, but we could talk about Malkin in the trade thing because I've seen some stuff come up that they might look at, entertain the idea of moving him.
Okay.
Are you scared of the Islanders?
Yes. They got Barzell, and that team is good.
They got Palat too.
They've been good for the last few years. Yeah, I'd have some fear.
I'm scared of Carolina and the Islanders. I'm not really. Pittsburgh doesn't really scare me. Now the wild card. Are you scared of Buffalo? And we'll get to Buffalo in a minute. On terms of,
I would be because they're playing good. Probably this is the first time in a long time they're not going to be a seller at the deadline. I would fear the Buffalo Sabres, and it's weird to say that, but maybe they're.
I would agree.
They're going to give Buffalo the championship that the Bills couldn't give them. So,
sorry, Bills fans. Are you scared of the Boston Bruins?
I'm not. The Boston Bruins, with their penalty issues, if they can fix that, you can fear them. Until they fix that, they shoot themselves in the foot too much. They do.
I would agree. Are you scared of the Washington Capitals?
That's an enigma. I'm not sure because if you get the Caps that play good, yes. If you get the Caps that don't play good, no. So,
well, I mean, they still got the ageless wonder.
I don't know how many more years we're going to see OV in the NHL. I think he is
definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Oh, no doubt.
Hands down. And he won't get denied like Belichick did.
I think what happens with him, Bud, is he finishes. I think he's got 1 year left or 2 years left on his contract. I think he finishes the 2 years, goes to the KHL, and then he retires. He wants to play in the KHL before he hangs it up. He said that he wanted to finish in Russia, which is very strong.
Will he get his number retired by the Capitals?
If he doesn't, it'd be a shame if he doesn't. I think number 8 will be in the rafters in the nation's capital. Yep.
Are you scared of Columbus now that they have Rick Bowness as their head coach?
Yeah, he's changed the
culture,
attitude, the culture in Columbus again. And there can be one of those teams, Bud, that could come up if they get to the wild card. They could be one of those teams that could beat a good team, like they beat the Lightning in 2019. Sneak up on you and take you out, not even know that you're there. Yep.
Are you? I'm scared of Columbus. Washington, I agree with you, and I'm not scared of Boston. Ottawa, are you scared of the Senators?
Ottawa's a 50-50 team. I'm not really scared of them, but I'm not gonna not be scared of them. I'm on the fence with the Senators.
What about Toronto?
No, Toronto is not what they used to be, and if they decide to blow it up, which we fans don't want to hear that they want to blow it up, but I think it's coming. I think the Titanic's about to hit the iceberg, and there's no safety boats for the Leafs, so it could be one of those times.
Well, yeah, and we'll talk about it in a little bit. Austin Matthews. I'm not scared of Toronto or Ottawa. What about the Florida Panthers?
I think yes, because they are the defending champions 2 times in a row. And if Sergei Bobrovsky gets back into Bob again, they can win games and be right back in the thick of it when it's all said and done.
Well, and the thing is, they're not that far out of that last wild card.
No, they're only 7 points out or 9 points out. 9 points out, which this time of the year, halfway through, is not that much. If it 9 points with a week left, yeah, it might be a different story.
I'm scared of them too, just for the fact that every time they play the Lightning, and they play us on Thursday,
yep,
there's always a fight
before we close out the Olympic break. Mm-hmm.
Are you scared of the Philadelphia Flyers?
I'm not. Anything below. Sorry, Flyers fans. I'm not.
I'm not either. What about New Jersey?
No, that anything below Florida, they may be out of playoff contention. So no. I mean, West Rangers can do some miracle things, but no, I don't see that
unless they get the voodoo.
Yeah.
Now exactly. The Western Conference, Central Division. Are you scared of Colorado?
How can you not be? They're the top team in the league,
and they have one of the best defensemen in the NHL.
And they're a plus 72 in the goal differential, which means they score a bunch and don't give up.
208 goals for, only allowing 136.
Yeah, that's and you look at
home. Half of it's Nathan McKinnon.
And you look at their home record. Look, they have 20 wins at home and only 3 losses. That's insane. So
and 4 overtime or shootout losses.
Yep. So that tells you right there they are a very good team in Colorado, and even on the road they're 16-6. So they're above 500 on the road and 5 on the road. So yeah.
Their only knock is look at their shootout record.
Yeah, 1-5. Yep. That's it.
Are you scared of Minnesota?
I would be. I think Minnesota has kind of put the NHL on alert.
Would we say we're scared of all 3 teams that are at the top of the Central Division?
I would say yes. All 3 of them can make very, very deep playoff.
And you got to think Dallas, one of these years, is going to win a Stanley Cup.
Well, they won one in 1999 on a controversial skate in the crease with the Buffalo Sabres.
Mm-hmm. Are we scared of all 3 teams in the Pacific Division that are at the top?
Yeah, the Kraken may be the only one that I'm kind of leaning on, but definitely Vegas doesn't seem to go away, and Edmonton, like we discussed earlier, they have the best player in the world, and Draisaitl is just as important as McDavid.
Well, Draisaitl, McDavid, Nugent Hopkins,
and then another guy that no one
and Simon. There's 4 guys right there.
Yeah,
in their top 6.
Edmonton,
and then you got probably the 3rd or 4th best defenseman in the NHL, and Evan Bouchard.
Yeah. Again,
all they're missing is a competent goalie. Sorry, Tristan Jarry, that's not you.
The knock on them is look, they're 0-3 in shootouts. So if you get them to a shootout, you might beat them.
Yeah,
you might get a chance.
But that record, last hit 5-4-1. And again, like we've said 3 times now, they have Connor freaking McDavid.
Yep.
And Connor McDavid can make you, even the best guys on the other team, look absolutely ridiculous.
Correct.
Now we get to the wild card teams. Are you scared of the Utah Mammoth?
I am. I got to see them play recently. Yes, I would fear them. I think if they make a move here or tweak here or there, I think they have an opportunity to make a playoff run. And again, just like we were talking earlier about Columbus. This could be that team that could sneak up and steal a series from you.
Are you scared of Anaheim and their young core?
Yeah, because they're young, and the youth will carry you further in the playoffs than a veteran team will. So yes, I would say the Ducks. Yep,
I agree. What about the LA Kings? And I know they
absolutely.
have a few guys that Drew Doughty's getting up there in age.
No, no the Kings. You can't count the Kings out, and they've been pretty good the last few years. So no, I wouldn't count the Kings out.
Are you scared of them?
Yeah, they're only you look at right now, they're only 2 points out of the second wild card spot. And how many points are they behind Seattle for the third spot in the they're 1 point. Yeah,
They're
so
1 point behind the last wild card, and they're
yeah.
1 point behind third place.
Yeah, so they're not out of it. They're not out of it by any
What
stretch of the
about, are you
imagination.
scared of San Jose?
Well, being that
Or
they
are
have
we 1 year early on the
I would say
Sharks?
we're a little early. We're pushing the envelope a little early. They're minus 20 in goal differential. That's hard to be scared of a team that has got a negative. And then Nashville's the same way. So, yeah.
But I mean, Nashville's got Steven Stamkos.
Yeah, well, they
And I know it's not the same Stamkos that it was in Tampa. But he had a great game the other night. 2 goals.
Yeah, he's starting to get to somewhat of a form when he was with the Lightning, but there was a reason why the Lightning let him go. So
and then I would say anything below Nashville,
Chicago's young,
maybe in a year.
Yeah, Winnipeg and Calgary and Vancouver and St. Louis.
Well,
Those are going to be
Calgary, St. Louis, and Vancouver are probably just gonna blow it up at the deadline.
And it's shocking to look that the 3 teams in the Western Conference from Canada are all in the bottom of the overall division.
Yeah, it's surprising.
Correct.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we mentioned it a minute ago. We're going to talk about the Buffalo Sabres, and if we think they can keep up this, what would you call it? Hot.
Yeah,
this streak they've been on.
I think they can. I think it starts in net. I think it starts with their goaltending depth that they have. They had.
I'll say this: Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen has been a revelation. Say that fast 5 times.
Yeah, he's currently out with a lower body injury, but Lyon's done a pretty good job in his absence. And again, they won 10 games in a row, and they're scoring goals.
Their backup is Colton Ellis right now,
something like that. Yeah, correct. I'm sorry, I was misreading my notes. Alex Lyon is actually. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yep. So, I think it starts in the net. I really think, honestly, they get some guys back from injury, and it's weird to say this, but they could be making the postseason, and I'm sure it would make everybody in Buffalo happy.
Oh, it would. And you know what? The only thing it took was them getting rid of Kevin Adams.
Finally.
After about that. Oh, yeah, they've been complaining about that. And then it was, is Lindy Ruff going to be next? I don't think Lindy Ruff needs to go anywhere.
No.
And I think, I know it's still kind of a little early. Lindy Ruff for Coach of the Year?
That's a possibility. That's a possibility.
Before we get to the trade deadline, who was your worst team in the first half of the NHL season?
How can it not be Vancouver? It's got to be the Canucks. Absolutely has to be the Canucks.
I would absolutely agree. Best team in the first half of the season.
It's got to be the Avalanche. I hate to say that, but it's got to be the Avalanche.
I went with the And call me a homer. I went with the Lightning. All the injuries they've had. If Lindy Ruff doesn't win Coach of the Year, it's got to be John Cooper.
Would you not? Would you not pencil in? Well, I was gonna say the Buffalo. Yeah, I was gonna say it's got to be
Lindy Ruff.
somebody near the top. Yeah, I would have to say. Well, yeah, I agree with. I mean, I'm not gonna argue with you about Cooper. So I
The
won't
work
argue
he's
with
had
that
to
one.
do with all the injuries, the Stu Point, Sorelli,
Well, yeah, and they
Hagel,
they had injuries
Headman,
early on.
McDonough,
Hedman and McDonough were out for a long period of time. So yeah,
Chernick,
yep.
and then the emergence of Darren Radish.
he's been a bright spot for the Lightning this year.
It's been surprising. And I think if the Lightning can't re-sign him, he's going to get some.
He's gonna make some money. He'll get
He's going
paid.
to get a hefty pay raise somewhere.
Just don't go to Florida. Just don't be.
I don't think the Panthers can afford it. Well, we said that last year in free agency when they were going to lose Ekblad and Marchand.
They got both of
And
them
somehow,
back.
magically, they re-signed both.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, I would have loved to have seen Marchand go to Toronto. Because he said it was down to Toronto and Florida and for signing him.
Well, that's surprising too. If you look, he's so loved in Boston, he didn't want to go back to the Bruins. So that tells you something. When you leave, you have the opportunity to go back to Boston, and you don't want to go back to Boston. That's a sign right there.
Well, and Toronto's looking dumb right now. That trade they made in the offseason, giving Fraser Minton to Boston and a unprotected first round pick.
Yep.
That could be a lottery pick.
And not re-signing Mitch Marner.
Instead, re-signing Tavares.
Uh-huh.
Okay, let's get to the trade deadline targets. Do you have the list?
I got some, but obviously so the players that have already been traded up till this point are Quinn Hughes, Stuart Skinner, Andre Palat, and Carey Price. I didn't even know Carey Price was still playing.
His contract.
Okay. He's been traded to the San Jose Sharks. It was back in September. Okay.
His contract had, obviously, as we know.
I guess, buddy, we could start with Artemi Panarin, the Rangers.
Yeah.
I guess he's the top guy that's on.
You take this one first. Who do you think he gets traded to? This is our predictions, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm going to go out. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say he goes to Dallas and the Stars win the Western Conference.
Like Dallas needs any more help. I'm going to go out on a limb and say he goes back to Columbus. Because Columbus does have a good farm system. And they could give up some young guys and a couple draft picks to get Panarin. I don't think it's going to take a first-round pick to get Panarin at this point of his career.
Right.
And the Rangers have kind of already started thinking, getting rid of Carson Soucy.
Yeah, the Rangers could be one of those teams, but too, that could be blowing it up.
Who is the guy on the list?
I have Jordan Binnington, goaltender for St. Louis, and obviously the Blues are down right now.
I'll take this one first. I'm going to say Edmonton.
Yeah, he's going to go to a team that needs a goalie, and obviously Edmonton's one of those teams that needs a goaltender. So
I'll say Edmonton or could you see Montreal?
Could be they make a move. They can make a move to get him. That's
Who's the team you think?
Honestly, I would say Edmonton, they need goalie help, and I think he would fit very well there. I think that could be one of those pieces that helps Edmonton. Again, they're behind Colorado in the standings right now, but again, we have a whole a whole second half of hockey to play. A lot, obviously, we know all the stuff that we're talking about now, guys, could totally be by the time we get to April, could be completely different, could be
Yeah.
thrown upside down. But as of right now, I could see him, buddy, going to Edmonton to help the Oilers in that second half push to get past Colorado or maybe make a run. But again, you don't want to be the President's Trophy winner. I know the last President's Trophy winner to win the Cup was in 2019, and that was the Chicago Blackhawks. So you don't want to be the President's Trophy winner. So just throw that out there.
Yeah. Nope.
The next one I have is Jordan Kyrou, the right winger for the Blues.
I want to say the Lightning, but they wouldn't have any room for him. When
I'm going to
everybody,
say Washington. I'm going to say the Capitals. I'm going to say he would.
okay,
fit
you know
well.
what? Here's one. You say Washington? How about Carolina?
Well, you just mentioned earlier. Does Dallas need any more help? Does Carolina need any more help either? But no, yeah, Carolina is one of those teams. I want to go. I want to go to their arena in person. I want to go to Raleigh and see them play a game in for the Canes.
Yeah, and see their post game.
Yeah, that's they're not well liked by certain Canadian media.
Oh, and they're not. I don't think they're liked by the Minnesota Vikings either.
Correct. I have Dougie Hamilton as the next one. He's the defenseman for the Devils.
Go ahead, take it first.
Well, first of all, again, he's one of the best defensemen available. The problem with it is he has a $9 million salary cap hit till 2028. So for the next
and
two
if
seasons,
I'm correct, I believe he also has a no trade clause.
Which means then if you trade him, it would have to be his approval. So he's not going to get traded to he's not going to get to Vancouver or Calgary, teams like that.
Get this, and the Devils tried to trade him in the offseason to San Jose, and he said nope.
Well, where are his brothers at? Doesn't he have brothers in the league?
No, that's the Hughes. That's Quinn Hughes.
Sorry. Yeah, so
and both Jack and Luke are on New Jersey.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know.
I've seen Boston.
Oh, well, that's not good. But yeah,
I've seen Boston. I've seen Toronto. Wouldn't be surprising if it was Toronto because they did the same thing at the deadline last year, getting Brandon Carlo from Boston.
Could be, bud. They could do that. Make that kind of splash.
I'm gonna go Toronto just for
okay. And the last three, buddy, that I have on my list are Ryan O'Reilly, Stamkos, and Jonathan Marchessault from the Predators. So those are the three.
O'Reilly, I'll let you take O'Reilly. I'll let you take O'Reilly first.
Ryan O'Reilly. Wow. Who needs forward help?
Hint, hint. The Lightning play them tonight.
Well, yes, Buffalo. Yeah,
that's who I'm going with.
Yeah.
A reunion with the Buffalo Sabres.
Oh, that's right. I forgot he was a Sabre. Yeah, forgot that he was
very beginning of his career.
Correct.
After he was with the Avalanche.
Yes, I could see him being reunited in Buffalo.
Stamkos. I've heard Toronto.
Yeah, there were, I guess, if people don't know, but the owners previous to our ownership now, there was a handshake. Oh, they were a handshake away from him being traded to Toronto. Our ownership wanted to trade him to Toronto back in those days. And thank goodness that never happened because we saw what he turned into be. And Toronto would have loved that. But yeah, I could see him going to Toronto, Bud, or on a real long branch, Montreal, and being reunited with Marty St. Louis. Maybe, but Toronto, I would say.
Yeah,
That.
same here. Toronto or Montreal.
Jonathan Marchessault, Florida.
Send them back to the Panthers.
Back to the Knights, maybe. I don't know. That's a
Back
up
to
in the air one.
I'm going to say Vegas.
Vegas, okay.
Because they get everybody.
That I don't know how with the salary cap in the NHL how they do that. But
Well, the salary cap apparently is going up.
yeah, that's not shocking. I think the only sport it's not going up in is MLB. If there is not one,
no,
and they're going to be on strike. So yeah.
Anyway, tell them about your show on Thursday.
Yeah, guys. So again, Thursday, 8:00, we will be recapping the Royal Rumble, which I was kind of all right. It was all right. We'll be previewing the Super Bowl. But guys, check this out. This week, me and my 3 co-hosts, we are going to go over and give our top 5 WWE finishers. And it doesn't have to be current. It can be in the past. It doesn't have to be now. We're also going to give our top 5 submission moves. Again, doesn't have to be current. It can be in the past. You can pull one from, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, all that back in there. We're going to have a fun show with the Super Bowl on the horizon. So, yep.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up tonight's episode of Saturday Night Lights Hockey. We will see everybody on Thursday at 5:30. We have not decided what the show's going to be about yet. Bradley and I will talk about it probably tomorrow at some point.
Cool.
But have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday night, everybody.
Have a good night, guys.